Two big takeaways. Let's start with Tampa. If you want to know why Brady and Giselle are reportedly having, marriage conflict, Tom wants to continue playing football. She doesn't want him to. You watched last night. He's still a top 5 quarterback in the league. He's shredding defenses. He threw it 52 times. He got hit, looked like he got hurt, bounced back, accurate as ever, poised as ever, velocity as good as ever, red zone good as ever. Listen, if Steph Curry's averaging 29.5 points a game and his wife says stop playing, they'd probably argue too. I mean, Tom Brady, I don't see any dip in accuracy, composure, velocity, movement. I mean, 7 yards per play. The only difference with Tom is Chris Godwin tends to get hurt. Mike Evans has been out a couple of times. Gronk is not his safety valve in the red zone. But I don't see Tom Brady today looks like Tom Brady 8 years ago. Honestly, he looks better than the last 2 years in New England. Of course, a lot of that is the weapons he has. That's my first takeaway. The second one is Kansas City, Mahomes, and Andy Reid are really easy to root for to go on a run and be a dynasty. They're not there yet. They have one Super Bowl. But if there's going to be a dynasty, it should look like this. Fun, flashy, daring, and there are levels to really good football teams. There's a very good team. Cincinnati's a very good team. There's a great team. I think Kansas City at their best, Buffalo at their best are great teams. And then there's wow. In Kansas City and Buffalo, especially the Chiefs, are one of the only wow teams in the league. The Warriors and the Chiefs are good for sports. I mean, listen, the Spurs had a dynasty. Bama had a dynasty. Patriots had a dynasty. But it was sort of like coaching and culture and efficiency and a suffocating defense. That's fine, too. You get the trophies. You get the rings. But, I mean, to me, not all dynasties are equal, and this has such a Warriors feel to it that it's just going to last longer. And a big component to that is that Mahomes, like Steph Curry, is so unselfish. He actually, believe it or not, gains joy in other people succeeding. He's okay with a tight end taking the snap and going in. He loves that stuff. And so you get everything you want in a dynasty. You get daring and clever and wow and coaching and smart. I mean, it's nothing against the Patriots' 20-year run. But let's be honest. It was that cold team up in the Northeast. Bill was really smart. Tom was really efficient. Didn't have, outside of the Randy Moss years, a lot of sex appeal. Not really relatable. This is how football should be. And it's where football is moving. Daring, fun, and different. Joy from the superstars. Selfless guys willing to elevate others. Listen, Kansas City and the Warriors also can get a little too cute. I mean, Steph Curry will do the behind-the-back pass on a fast break. You can go up by 10, close the deal out, and it flies into the stands. Sometimes the left-handed stuff for Mahomes goes awry. But you know what? Great people have to push the envelope. That's what we as consumers, that's when we're the big winners. When great people do great stuff. When Steph Curry hits 2 28-footers in a row, he needs to try a 32-footer because nobody can do that except Steph Curry. Push the envelope. And sometimes Kansas City can get a little sloppy and can get a little cute and can get a little finesse. I'm here for it. A very easy team to root for. Smart football and daring football for us is great football. All right, let's talk about something that's not so great. The Denver Broncos had 12 first downs against the Raiders defense. Russell Wilson, say what you want, good receivers, offensive head coach, a lot of penalties, bad situationally. Folks, you're seeing it with Oklahoma football and you're seeing it with the Denver Broncos, where a coach comes in, can't even master his side of the ball. 75% of coordinators hired for college or pro jobs do not work. They don't work. Coordinators generally don't work. Well, wait until he gets his players. Nonsense. McVay didn't need his players. Lincoln Riley at USC didn't need his players. Denver, from clock management to penalties to lack of creativity, I'm afraid I'm really wrong on this, that Denver whiffed on the head coach. They've got literally no identity offensively other than disorganized. 12 first downs, no ability to run the ball. They don't move the pocket. I mean, you can blame Russell Wilson, but his passer rating was 124.9. And you still saw flashes of Russell Wilson. He led Denver in rushing. He had 2 great deep balls. He's getting the ball to his star receivers. He's scrambling for first downs. You don't see a guy that's hobbling up and down the field. He's at least trending in the right direction. But, folks, we have seen this in the NFL in the last 4 or 5 years. Steve Wilkes in Arizona, they moved off after a year. Ben McAdoo in the New York Giants, they got it wrong. Joe Judge took us longer. We figured out quickly. He got it wrong. Cleveland Browns, Freddie Kitchens. It happens. It happens. You can keep convincing yourself it's working. But I would say this. Ask yourself this. What is Nathaniel Hackett's identity? Even coaches were not sure about. I'll give you an example. Robert Saleh with the Jets. We don't know if it's going to work, but he's got an identity, great energy, and a tough guy. You know what he is. It may not work, but he's got an identity. That team is physical, and his energy is through the roof. Let me give you another one. Brandon Staley of the Chargers. We don't know if it's going to work, but very analytical and hyper-aggressive. We know what they are. Miami, Mike McDaniel, 4 games. He is a pro player. Wrap your arms around my guy. Again, very smart, very efficient, looks very much like the 49ers. I don't know if Mike McDaniel, Brandon Staley, Robert Saleh will be coaching in 4 years. I don't know. McDaniel, I've got high hopes for. I don't know, but they've got an identity. If you're an offensive coach, McVay's offense, you could put his players in a silhouette. And I could watch the plays, not know who's playing in a silhouette, and I'd go, oh, yeah, that's his offense. Same with Kyle Shanahan. Same with Andy Reid. Same with Sean Payton. I can see your offense. Lincoln Riley at USC, I can see it and know, oh, that's clever. That's the manipulation of personnel, formations, variations. What is this? I mean, good God, even Dan Campbell. Like Dan Campbell in Detroit. Former player, sometimes can be a little bit of a meathead, but you know what? Unbelievable passion, pro player, would run through a wall for the organization. Dan Campbell, whether it works or not, that team gives you, they never quit. They get down big. They are never out of a game because of Dan Campbell. So my takeaway is this is an offensive coach. I don't want to hear about, well, he's got to get his guys in. Come on. McVay didn't get his guys in. He went and got a left tackle and had Jared Goff and took him to a Super Bowl. He eventually upgraded to some guys he liked more. But I think I'm just wrong on this. I just don't see it. When a coach comes in, you got to be able to get your side of the ball right. Good God, Oklahoma's given up 500-600 yards in a week against TCU, Kansas State. I'm not talking against, Georgia. I'm not talking against Ohio State or Notre Dame or LSU. I'm talking they're giving up that to like second-tier programs. Their schedule has some openings. I mean, if I went and looked their schedule over the next 6 weeks, there's some wins there if they can get it right. But just look at Kansas City's offense, how smart and clever it is, and then watch Denver's, and it feels like the opposite. It's like you're watching the 1994 offense. I don't see it. I think I whiffed. I'm pretty much okay with most of my predictions so far for this year. I got teams like, I had Miami getting in and the Bengals being a good team. And, I had Philadelphia winning their division and Tampa wins their division and Minnesota being good. I feel pretty good with them. Denver, I picked to win the division. That's not great. I got to be honest. That wasn't a great prediction by me. This morning, if I do it again, I'd pick them fourth. I'm serious. I think I'd pick them fourth. I don't think you can win with this, what I see here. You got to have an identity, even if I don't love you. Brandon Staley, Robert Saleh, Dan Campbell. The players have to know who you are, what you are. What are you good at? I don't see it. Big old whiff for Uncle Colin. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.